You cannot get money to run a nation. That's your problem. You campaigned that you were going to get money to run a nation effectively and provide infrastructure. Don't touch it. It's not today they've been muting this idea. They've just seen at first it grew from about 13 trillion a couple of years ago to about now 20 trillion. You just see the post there, you want to touch it. Don't touch the PFAs. Don't touch it at all. Because we've seen the recklessness at which you manage it. Yeah. Because you have done nothing to help the workers. There's still a lot of pensions being owed by state governments.
Yes.
Still owe these workers a lot of the pension. So please, let's not even go there at all. You have taxed people, there's inflation raging hard, and the little thing about their future, now you want to go ahead and you're muting the idea. Don't even think of it at all.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by. My people, Rufai don't give like woto. Serious warning to Tinubu concerning this movement to unlock 20 trillion from the nation's pension fund to finance critical infrastructure projects across the country. Chai, my people, there is nothing Musa no go see forget. It be like say they swear for this Tinubu administration, honestly. Like, why is these people, driving joy, seeing Nigerians suffer? Why? Like, what is all this? It's like other countries have refused to borrow them more money. Now they have decided to go and take pension fund, people's future, our future, your children's future, to go and finance critical infrastructure in Nigeria. Like, what is all this, my people? That's why Rufai just sent direct message to Tinubu, warning him that they should not try it, that they should not even try it at all, because enough is enough. Rufai said when Tinubu was campaigning, he told Nigeria that he is coming to serve Nigerians, that he doesn't even care where he's going to get the money for that infrastructure. But what he's telling him that he should not try it to put hand for that pension fund that is not allowed at all, because it's our future they want to use as a joke. My people, not only that, another story. This one really shocked me, that Tinubu government has said it subsidies the cost of the 2024 Hajj with the sum of 90 billion naira, my people. Like 90 billion naira. Just people that want to go and pray in another country. That's why our government is now sponsoring them. A private something or private decision that is not going to bring absolutely nothing to Nigeria, my people. Maybe they want to go there and pray. At the end of the day, God will not bring money from heaven and double it, then they will bring it back to us. Like, what is all this nonsense? What is all this? Because at the end of the day, other religions like Christians and the other ones, they will come out and say Tinubu need to, support them as well. My people, what is happening in this Tinubu administration? Like, a lot is yet to come. Yes, so a lot is yet to come. I beg, make I not even talk too much. Let me allow you guys so that you can hear in detail what Rufai said concerning all this matter. And I will be right back.
The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 elections, Atiku Abubakar, has faulted the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and the federal government's plans to deploy 20 trillion naira of pension funds for infrastructure development in Nigeria. The finance minister revealed the plans at the Federal Executive Council meeting on Tuesday, stating that the government is focused on tapping into domestic financial resources for national growth, adding that it was a significant step towards driving economic progress and addressing critical infrastructure needs. Let's take a look before we take Atiku's reaction.
The fact is that even before we start looking to foreign investors, we start looking to foreign funding, there is available in Nigeria long-term funds to fund infrastructure projects. And it's within the pension, life insurance, and investment fund industry generally. There is upwards of 20 trillion naira available, and much of it is in short-term funding that it doesn't need to be. Pension money is long-term. People save over their lifetime for their pension. And so, in conversation, in consultation, collaboration, and cooperation with the private sector, we are now able to announce, and with the full knowledge and support of all parties, that there will be an initiative to fund growth through investment in infrastructure, including housing, provision of mortgages, long-term mortgages, 25-year mortgages at relatively low interest rates. Initially, of course, the government will stand back and provide some support, particularly in this era of high interest rates. But eventually, as interest rates come down, there should be less role for the government through providing, for example, guarantees and so forth.
Rufai, of course, you know, this is coming at a wrong time. A lot of Nigerians have condemned this actual action because, like you know, pension funds can only contribute about 5% on, you know, infrastructural development. So we need more explanation as to, you know, how these monies will be dispersed. But, you know, Atiku, you know, condemned it as well. And his tweets reads in part, he provided no useful details, such as the percentage of the funds to be mopped up from the pension funds. Even at that, this move must be halted immediately. It is a misguided initiative that could lead to a disastrous consequence on the lives of Nigeria's hardworking men and women who toiled and saved and who now survive on their pensions, having retired from service. It is another attempt to perpetrate illegality by the federal government. The government must be cautioned to act strictly within the provisions of the Pension Reform Act of 2014, along with the revised regulation on investment of pension assets issued by the National Pension Commission. There are no easy ways for Mr. Edun to address the challenges of funding infrastructure development in Nigeria. He can't cut corners. He must introduce the necessary reforms to restore investor confidence in the Nigerian economy and to leverage private resource skills and technology. Rufai, over to you.
I mean, Oji, this matter concerns me because I have my money, my pension money in that 20 trillion. Please don't touch my money. Don't touch my pension funds. Don't touch my future. I beg you. If you cannot get money to run a nation, that's your problem. You campaigned that you were going to get money to run a nation effectively and provide infrastructure. Don't touch our pension fund. The law talks about 5% infrastructure because you don't want to hedge the future of workers that you can't even pay 70,000 wage now. Pensions that are very low already. Since we came to this pension scheme under Olusegun Obasanjo, don't touch it. It's not today they've been muting this idea. They've just seen at first it grew from about 13 trillion a couple of years ago to about now 20 trillion. You just see the post there, you want to touch it. Don't touch the PFAs. Don't touch it at all. Because we've seen the recklessness at which you manage it. You're talking about funds and things like that. It's only the statutory 5% you should mop up. The rest, don't touch it. Because you have done nothing to help the workers. There's still a lot of pensions being owed by state governments.
Yes.
Still owe these workers a lot of the pension. Pension arrears is still a lot of money that is still being owed. If that money comes into the fund, the pot should be bigger than it. So please, let's not even go there at all. You have taxed people, there's inflation raging hard, and the little thing about their future, now you want to go ahead and you are muting the idea. Don't even think of it at all. Atiku Abubakar is 100% correct on this. Apart from the 5% threshold you can touch for infrastructure investment, don't touch it for others because we've seen how you mismanage the money, inflate contracts and things like that. Then you're talking about pension fund, where the coastal road has not of priority. You are going to expend over 1 trillion. You quickly approve money now for the section 2 of the coastal road. Maybe I say you can fix that money to housing and other things. Don't touch pension. And I know I'm speaking the minds of millions of Nigerian workers this morning. Don't touch it.
All right.
Leave it alone.
I mean, this is the great thing.
What is it?
This is the great thing of having a strong, opposition. I mean, we have seen Atiku Abubakar, always come out to challenge the federal government. And I think that this is something that they should look into. But before I come to you, Ayo, in another development, reactions have trailed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's approval of 90 billion naira to subsidize the cost of this year's Hajj pilgrimage. Vice President Kashim Shettima made the announcement during the inaugural Hajj airlift at the Sir Ahmadu Bello International Airport in Kebbi State on Wednesday. In his speech, Shettima emphasized the president's commitment to religious pilgrimage and urged intending pilgrims to pray for the success of the administration and to act as good ambassadors for Nigeria by observing all Hajj protocols in Saudi Arabia.
The president approved the release of 90 billion naira to subsidize the cost of pilgrimage for this year's Hajj. Therefore, I urge you not to relent in praying for the success of this administration, for the peace and progress of our country that we are proud to call our motherland.
All right, priorities, priorities, priorities. This is what we've always been advocating on this program. I mean, you know, they want to touch pension funds like Rufai talked about. And then now it's 90 billion, not 1 million, not 1 billion, 90 billion. Well, let me take some reactions before I come to you. Hazard wrote, I'm curious to understand the rationale behind the government subsidizing Hajj in a country facing hunger and food shortages. While it is important to fulfill religious obligations, it seems more prudent to prioritize addressing the immediate needs of the population. Olu wrote, taxpayers' money is being spent on religion that should be personal, but they said Nigeria is a secular state. Well, I hope they will sponsor Christian pilgrimage to Jerusalem too. But honestly, we don't need this right now. Pint of Gary is 3,500 naira. Poor men are struggling to breathe. Shall we quote President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Let the poor breathe. I mean, this, I believe, should also be looked into. Aya.
Totally looked into, and I'm glad that you're taking this story straight after we've talked about the fact that they want to touch pension funds to be able to fund infrastructural projects. Now, there are two things. The first thing is that, yes, great idea that the government wants to invest in infrastructure. The other part of it is where the source of funding would come from. And so rather than attract the much needed investment in infrastructure, this government has taking what would be said to be the easy way out in terms of finding revenue. Of course, it's not free money like Alhaji Atiku Abubakar had mentioned. It's money that would have to be paid back, and it's money that belongs to the people. And there's also a concern, and this I think is the biggest, as to how the funds would even be managed if they succeed in touching the 20 trillion naira. Because if we would take the money and then we'll be subsidizing 90 billion naira for Hajj, or be spending money, I know they say it's infrastructure, but at the end of the day, they will say, oh, something came up, we had to spend money on that. And that's what we talk about, that when we borrow money, what the money is actually used for. We don't seem to look like a serious nation. If at this point, we are still paying 90 billion naira, this year's school feeding program is budgeted to be 100 billion naira, 10 billion naira shy of this money for Hajj. Do you know how many children can be fed in school? And then the effect on that, or the impact on that, in terms of having more children in school, especially in the north, which has the largest number of out-of-school children in the world. Do you know how much money that would go into?
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't go to Hajj. Go to Hajj. But let it come from your personal pocket. Or let private, there are generous private individuals or organizations who might want to take this up as CSR. We need to be honest with ourselves as a nation.
Yes.
We keep saying, oh, don't touch religious things. Religion is very personal. Your faith in God is personal in terms of the fact that you choose to follow God in this manner. And if you're going to do anything, then if they are good-willing, well-meaning Nigerians who want to do it, and let them go ahead and do it. We need to be honest with ourselves. The second part of this is that someone said in the Twitter handle that if you did this for Muslims,
they should do it for
so it means that we're looking at 180 billion naira for religious obligations.
Does that? Traditionalists.
Yeah, and traditionalists. So what it means, it breaks them because it's taxpayers' money.
This is it.
So as you were saying, Rufai, about pensions, that this is my money. This 90 billion, I hope Nigerians know that this is our money. This is our commonwealth. Yeah. And a few people are going to enjoy 90 billion naira of that to fulfill their personal religious obligations. It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't show that we're serious about
well, we are glad, hopefully, that this government is a listening government. I hope that they are listening at this point. But, talking about travel in the meantime, following reports of a faulty presidential aircraft, a member of the House of Representatives, Ali Issa, has suggested that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should travel by road or use commercial flights for official engagements. Issa was contributing to a motion sponsored by the chairman of the House Committee on National Security and Intelligence, Satomi Ahmed, to probe the status of the presidential fleet. Let's take a look.
Mr. Speaker, since an issue has been raised, I will advise that the President should suspend using the presidential aircraft. If there is need, he can use either commercial or chartered aircraft. And another options, if that will also help Nigerians. If the President can travel by road, then Nigerians will have hope that our roads will be repaired soon. So, Mr. Speaker...
Honorable Ali Jesse, you are asking my president to use road to go to Europe.
No, I'm not saying
So
Europe.
my
We
president
think
should
the
go
country-
by road to
You
Europe.
can use, Mr. Speaker...
My
the
president should
Minister
use
UK,
road
British Airways
to attend meetings in Europe and UK. But you are not using road to go to UK. The last time I checked, you were not traveling by road. And you want the president
Mr. Speaker.
to travel by road to UK. Can we hear from the minority leader? I think our legacy has finished.
Mr. Speaker, anyway, minority leader should continue from where I stopped.
Fire. As funny as this sound, I mean, it's all about, talking about cutting the cost of governance. Ayo said Pelumi did it. Why can't the president travel by road? Well, obviously, it's a joke. But yeah, so he should travel by road. But obviously,
I think maybe he's travel by road within the country.
Yeah, oh yes, of course. I think that's what he actually
do soul. I'm saying that human beings have done it before. So
No,
for
not
them
my
to take that.
president.
Well, no, obviously not for official duties.
Yeah.
But
quickly.
it speaks volumes
Yes.
about what we're now facing. I mean, there was a story that came out as regards some skirmishes with a plane, and
Yes.
even the second one, the vice president's plane not being able to go out of the country because of the plane and everything.
Yes.
One thing needs to be done as regards the presidential fleet. We need to do the maintenance as much as possible and all of that. But also, it doesn't stop the fact that we need to cut costs of government one way or the other. If we can't really afford the presidential fleet, I don't think we should keep it. I think part of it is, and it's not a big deal, we've had leaders of the world fly commercial.
Yeah.
You can just, appropriate a proper flight for them and all of that, or do charter and all of that. But the question is, can we increasingly afford it? That's a big question. As regards road travel, yes, the president does travel for road, but shorter proximity and things like that. I think increasingly the argument should also be about cutting the cost of running the presidency itself. Look at the case where we're talking about the presidential yacht that some people claim it didn't pay for and all of that. I think it also comes to the front for that conversation. But I think also largely that we should be able to service the presidential fleet if it has any problems and ensure it's fit for purpose. But also now try as much as possible to be able to cut that cost one way or the other. Because the cut needs to be cut. And this also brings forward the conversation where you now start seeing pictures of some time ago where the president's son was using the presidential jet. No, the presidential son should be able to fly his own, plane independently or wherever he wants to go to and things like that. But most importantly, we need to be able to cut the cost of government. But I don't subscribe to that guy saying the president should travel by car. But also speaking of the presidential fleet, I have a problem with Nigeria that has multiple car producers having a presidential official car that is a Mercedes. I think what the government should now do is have a project called Project Nigeria Car One or something, where Nord, Innoson, Jet and other car makers are brought with their best engineers into a room to be able to make a proper presidential car that shows the strength of our auto industry and that also helps to grow the auto industry. It's not like the, your Beast and everything that is made by Chevrolet, an American car maker. So that the presidential car officially is made by, it's a bulletproof car and everything that's made by a Nigerian car maker. That will also help promote the industry.
Yes, but I think it is quite important that they actually do probe the, presidential fleet. Yeah. We can't keep having these breakdowns. Yeah. But, the point really is the fact that they should cut the cost of governance by reducing all of these travels and flights. You're going to say something.
Can I just say that Liberian president, newly sworn in, President Boakai.
No, is this Senegal's president? Is it Senegal's
Boakai.
president? Okay.
Yeah, he said, well, Boakai is
Boakai,
Liberia.
Liberia.
Boakai. He recently said he was going to fly commercial because the country couldn't afford for him to fly private.
Even Senegal's president also
so,
had said something about having that sort of entourage and pageantry.
Yes, cut it down. Yes.
To cut down the cost of governance as well.
The former president of Botswana also did that as well. So it's not new. I'm trying to say that it is okay. It is normal. It is not out of the ordinary for a president to decide that he's not going to fly private or fly with the presidential fleet, that he will fly private, he will fly commercial, at least a chartered flight, a chartered commercial flight in order to save costs and cut the cost of governance. Beyond the president, OJ, I was speaking to Rufai yesterday and I was saying, how many governors do you see on commercial flights? That's because governors must fly around. Yeah. So a lot of them fly private jets. A lot of them are that in terms of moving around. And it's a cost to the taxpayers, including states that cannot generate IG out to take care of their people, are flying private with an entourage when they cannot afford it. Why can't they fly business, private or first class, or even sit with the pilots, just so that but at least there's something that it shows. It demonstrates the fact that I'm in touch with the fact that we cannot afford it, and I cannot afford to be living large where my people are suffering, people are hungry, people cannot go to school, and yet what's on my mind is not just flying private, but even sometimes stopping the movement of planes at certain times because you're asking a particular flight to wait because you're late. We need to talk about these things. Wastages in government in a country that is currently on its knees when it comes to revenue.
That the state with one of the highest number of unemployment in this country has a private jet that services their governor alone.
See what we're talking about.
So my people, that is it. I hope you had everything our Right Television team said here, especially what Rufai said as well as what Ayo said. Like, they really spoke true to the power. Like, it's high time for us to hold our government accountable. And also, when it comes to issue of cutting the cost of governance, I quite agree with this man that said that sometimes people need to travel by road. And he was talking about, within Nigeria, not outside Nigeria. I think it's high time for all these our leaders to start, feeling what Nigerians are feeling. Once in a while, let Tinubu travel by road within Nigeria so that he will now know the kind of roads that we have in Nigeria. Yes, my people. So I hope you had everything they said here. I would love you guys to leave your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think about this video? And if today is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share this video as well so that other people can get the opportunity to watch, my people. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Goodbye for now.